All right, from your left, here's Bernie Vasquez and the airplane they call Bonnie. See that bulk, that extra mass of the airplane? That was part of its success. Built by the Republic Company in Long Island, it's called the Thunderbolt. Now there is an A-10 Thunderbolt II that carries on the tradition. You saw them so far this year. They have been a performing aircraft in shows for a number of years. And it was named, the A-10 Thunderbolt II was named after the great tradition of this airplane. Essentially, but not exclusively, a New York State-built aircraft, as was the A-10 Thunderbolt II. That was a half Cuban 8 turnaround. As Bernie climbs up into the blue, getting the last few feet of altitude now, down on a 45-degree line, inverted flight. He'll roll right side up. And that will complete the figure 8 laying on its side. First done by Len Povey in Miami in 1936 as a way not to crash. Victory roll with the invasion stripes. By the way, this P-47 Thunderbolt is the only Republic-built Razorback P-47. It was restored of Air Corps Aviation. It was built originally in Evansville, Indiana. The name on the airplane is Bonnie, named by World War II Triple Ace and Distinguished Flying Cross recipient, Brigadier General Bill Dunham, commanding officer of the 466th Fighter Squadron of the 348th Fighter Group. Now today, under the hands of Bernie Vasquez, we'll see a full aerobatic performance of the mighty Jug, as they called it. Now the Jug was the way it looked. It looked like a milk jug of a bygone era. It had that shape, and that's how it got the nickname. It helped propel ground attack aircraft against the enemy at over 400 miles an hour. The Bonnie namesake embezzled on all three of Dunham's P-47s in the World War II era, and even on a P-51K, also named Miss Bonnie, who, by the way, became Miss Bonnie, who was Miss Bonnie Harris, and she became Miss Bonnie Dunham after the marriage to that wartime pilot. In the wartime, the P-47 carried 8 wing-mounted 50 caliber machine guns with 3,400 rounds, carried 2,500 pounds of bombs. It's heavy bomb load, good armament, and the ability to survive the enemy fire, proved to be a very formidable fighter and bomber. The engine, by the way, a liquid air-cooled engine, had a very high tolerance for damage and still got the pilot home. This particular P-47, built in Evansville in 1942, it went to the Pacific Theater, scoring 16 aerial victories. It was abandoned in Papua New Guinea and sat there prior to being restored by Air Corps operation. 3 locations for this aircraft being built in Republic Aviation. They were Evansville, Indiana, and Farmingdale, New York. Now it's got a very high empty weight and gross weight, about 4,000 pounds greater than the other fighters that I mentioned to you, but it didn't stop the airplane from performing. P-47s flew more than 500,000 missions, dropped more than 132 tons of bombs on targets. Coming in low and to your left, the P-47 had a tolerance for being shot up and still getting the pilot home. So robust was the airplane passing in front of us that if a pilot was damaged to the point where he had to decide to crash land his aircraft, his P-47, or bail out, it was so tough, they would prefer to crash land the airplane rather than bail out. Why? Because the airplane protected them. Highest scoring ace in the European theater. was Gabby Gobruski, Oil City, Pennsylvania. It is said that he almost flunked flight training. He's going to be washed out, but he spoke Polish, and they said, if you can complete your task of learning how to fly the airplane, we're going to send you to the European theater to speak the language of those oppressed people. And almost from being washed out, he became the leading scoring ace in Europe. He also flew the P-51s as well. Ground attack airplane, just like the current A-10 Thunderbolt II, devastating to targets on the ground. So the Thunderbolt II on display here and in the current military inventory is carrying on the tradition of this original P-47.